So here are my holes. I've dug 6 of them, as you can see. The holes are 2 feet, 2 feet by 2 feet by 2 feet depth. I've added some chicken manure down there and some banana leaves. They'll decompose slowly. So that's it. Year 1, month 1. This is how I prepare my holes, ready for planting my Wambugu apples. So this is day 2. I've managed to change the soil. As you can remember, yesterday I removed all the soil from the hole, and I went and fetched good quality soil. I took 1 bucket of cow manure, just mixed it right there with 3 parts of soil. Remember, during the initial stages of planting your seedlings, do not put so much manure. So I've only used 1 part. That's a 20-liter bucket. I've used 1 bucket of cow manure and 3 parts of soil on 1 hole. So 1 bucket, 1 bucket, 1 bucket, 1 bucket, 1 bucket, and 1 bucket of manure. 3 parts soil, 1 bucket of manure. So it's around 10 a.m. The sun is still shining so hot. I won't plant right now. I'll plant at around 3 p.m. when the sun is less intense. Ooh, beautiful. And here are my apples, ready to be transplanted. Here are my Wambugu apples. It's been a month since I transplanted them. As you can see, they have developed new shoots. This wasn't there a month ago. I planted 6 of them, as you can see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The ones on this row have developed new shoots. That's the first one. As you can see, this one has also developed new shoots. This one too. All this is new growth. This wasn't there a month ago. This is the one that came with the seedling. This is all new growth. These 3, they haven't they're still okay. I think this is a new shoot. I tipped the top here so that I can force the plant to generate new shoots. As you can see, it's trying to develop new shoot where it's not supposed to be, because Wambugu apples are grafted, so this is the grafting point. So anything that grows below the grafting point should be removed. So instead of focusing on pushing the energy for new growth, it's trying to develop roots at the bottom. So I've removed them. Hopefully very soon this will start to develop. And on top here, you can see it, but there is new shoot. So the ones on this row, the ones on that row, they've all developed new shoots, but this one's not yet. This one is also trying to develop shoot new leaves where this is the grafting point. So let me remove this part. The third one. This one was also trying to develop new shoots, as you can see. This is the grafting point, but it's trying to develop new shoots below the grafting point. So hopefully very soon they will start generating new shoots. I water at least once a week with a 20-liter bucket. As you can see, this one in a week, it's been almost a week and it's still wet. I don't just water anyhowly. I take my finger at least an inch, I dig inside. If it's still wet, I don't do any watering. So that's my rule of thumb. Just take your finger at least an inch, dig deep. If it's still wet, like here, as you can see, still wet. If it's still wet, do not water. So that's my progress update. A month in, they're doing well. You can see still wet. There's no need of watering. Essentially, I do it every Saturday, once every Saturday, 20-liter bucket. These are all new shoots. So stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Like this video so that it can be recommended to other people. And see you soon for another progress update. Awesome. Bye. My apple trees are exactly 2 months old right now, today. As you can see, I've done this. I've put an insect netting for these 3 apples that I'll be showing you in a few. I'm here to do the ones on this side, put an insect netting on top. So let's have a sneak peek of the Wambugu apples at 2 and how they look like. This insect netting is supposed to prevent these aphids and insects that love sucking on my Wambugu apple leaves. So this is the first one I did. If you've been watching my videos, you know that I have 6 apple trees. So the ones on this side where there's an insect netting, I did not do any tipping. Tipping is the process of removing this top foliage so that you can encourage lateral branches to occur. But these first 3, I just planted them and they responded well. This is the one I showed you the last time. This is actually the branch that came with the main stem. This is the grafting point. This was the only part that came with the seedling. This is all new growth. As you can see, it's about 3 feet tall. And this is exactly the reason why I'm doing an insect netting. As you can see, there's a grasshopper right here. It just flew off. These insects are putting holes on my leaves, you know. Here's another one right here. I'm not sure if you can see it. That's the reason why I'm doing the insect netting. But all of this, about 3 feet growth, it's all new growth. Coming here to my second seed plant, you can see this is the one that came with the seedling on this, but this is the grafting point, and this is the one that came with the seedling. All this is new growth. I have a lot of grasshoppers here, but all this is all new growth. And I can also see there's a new growth trying to come from the side here. Three branches so far. This is the third one. This is the one that came with the seedling. The grafting point is somewhere here, and all this is new growth. This means that my apple trees have responded quite well. My soil is black cotton soil. I've done some heavy mulching here because we're in February, and this is typically our summer, January, February, and March. So I've done some heavy mulching. I don't really water often. As you can see, my soil is wet. I'm just doing my soil test. If you've been watching my videos, just an inch deep. Just take your finger, remove some soil at least an inch deep. If it's still wet, there's no need of watering. But for mine, I typically do the 20-liter bucket per week. So if I water them on Saturday, I'll wait till the next Saturday. And because of my mulch, they don't really get, the water doesn't really get depleted. So these first 3 seedlings here, I haven't tipped. I'm trying to do an experiment where I'm trying to train a single stem. Then when it reaches the height of this pipe, the one that's holding the insect netting, I'll tip it. Comparing this experiment with these ones. These ones were initially, these first 3 were slow to pick. So what I did, especially on this one, I tipped it right here, and essentially that forced the plant to generate new growth. As you can see, this is all new growth from here, and these two is a new growth. So I did tipping on these 3 seedlings because they weren't really growing like these other ones. So the experiment is all about comparing these 3 apples that I've tipped and this one that I'm training with a single central stem. I want to see how the two compare. So as you can see, this is all new growth. This one I tipped maybe 4 weeks later after this one. This is why it's still slow, but it has generated new growth. As you can see from right here, this new growth, still small but new growth. I've realized with these two, this one and that one, they tend to produce growth beneath the grafting point. As you can see, this is the grafting point, but just right beneath here you can see that it's trying to generate new growth. This one is not Wambugu apple. If I leave it to grow, it will grow and suck the energy out of the main stem. But our focus is on this Wambugu apple grafted point. So I've been trying to remove this growth so that it focuses its attention at the top part, at the part above the grafting point. And this last one has also generated new growth. As you can see, it's not as vibrant as those three. You can see these ones are about 2-3 feet, but these ones are still right at where I bought them. But because of the tipping that I did, this growth was generated. As you can see, this is all new growth. This is all new growth, and I can also see here at this point there is some new growth. So that's how my Wambugu apples are at 2 months. The first 3 are doing quite well. These other 3 are still slow, but not bad. That one has recovered. I'm still waiting for these ones to grow, but I can still see some signs of growth. So the insect netting is just to prevent these insects from, especially the aphids, from sucking the leaves of my Wambugu apples. As you can see, they're really, you can see this leaf, they've really eaten through it. So it's only temporary, because the insect netting also blocks beneficial insects like bees, which help in pollination. But at this particular moment, my plants are still young. At 2 months, they will start flowering hopefully at month 7. So until then, I'll have this insect netting on to prevent the insects. Once they start producing flowers, I'll change this net to a bird net and deal with a new problem, which are the birds. So it's only temporary until they start flowering rather. So that's an update for my Wambugu apples at 2 months. If you like my content, make sure to like this video so that it can be recommended, so that the algorithm can recommend them to other viewers, and make sure to subscribe to my channel so that we can grow together as a community. So that's Wambugu at 2. Till next time, bye. These are my Wambugu apples. They're 6 months old. As you can see, they've started branching out, especially these first 3. So this is a progress update. So beautiful. I added some manure about 2 months ago. I usually add them after every 3 months. So I planted them in December, added manure in March. Probably I'll add more around end of next month. I've also pruned them, as you can see, so that they focus their energy on growing laterally, so that they produce more branches. As you know, with fruit trees, more branches, more fruits. Just as you can see here, we have about 1, 2, 3, 4 branches, and I'm expecting more. These ones are slightly shorter, but they're still growing. Initially, these 3, they were stagnant for a while, so I pruned them so that I actually tipped them at the top so that it can force the plant to start growing. So As you can see, they're growing still shorter than these ones, but they're doing well. Once they reach about 5 feet, as these ones, I'll tip them at the top so that they can focus their energy, not growing upwards but horizontally, and produce more branches for me. I've also added some rosemary here. As you can see, we have a row of rosemary, a row of rosemary. They're also going this way and that way. So that's my Wambugu garden, Wambugu apples update at 6 months. Hopefully by around August they'll have started producing flowers, and hopefully by December I'll be having some apples to crunch. So thank you for subscribing, like this video, and stay tuned for more update on my Wambugu apples. Cheers. My Wambugu apples just turned 7 months today. If you're with me, if you've been with me throughout my growing journey, you know where we've come from. If you haven't, welcome. My name is Willis. I am the founder of Thrift Gardening. I teach people how to garden, how to garden in a thrifty way. I also do a lot of fruit farming, and today I'll be showing you how my Wambugu apples are progressing at 7. So if you have been with me, you know these are, I planted 6 of them, 2 rows, 1 row and this other row. These are the ones that took off immediately. These ones they didn't, but as you can remember, I tipped them and they started growing. So from my previous video you saw that I started tipping my Wambugu apples after they reached 5 feet. As you can see, there is a new growth coming our way. Many people have been asking me, I have seen them in the comments, why didn't you tip them? They're so tall, you shouldn't tip them at 5. If you are an OG, you know that this was intentional. The reason I didn't tip this is because I wanted to experiment to see how the Wambugu apple tree grows without tipping, I basically wanted to let it take its natural course, and majorly it was to compare the Wambugu apples that are tipped when young and they branch out so young, and these ones that are single stemmed. Single stemmed basically is just letting your apple tree develop this stem first so that it can start branching at this level, and that's what apple farmers in developed countries do. As you can see, this one I didn't tip. I think this is a good example. Let's check the anatomy of this Wambugu apple tree. As for this tree, I never tipped it. I just planted it as it came, and as you can see, its anatomy is quite interesting, because you might think that I've tipped it, but I actually haven't tipped it. No, I just tipped it recently up here, but all these branches they took off without the tipping. As you can see, we have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 branches that just came about by themselves. And I kind of like this anatomy because you have this central stem from the bottom that can be able to support the branches at the top, compared to this type of tipping, where you tip the Wambugu apple when it's young and it starts branching out from the bottom. So the experiment was to compare the two. How do they compare? I know it's still young. These are about 7 months, but that's the reason why I didn't tip these 3 Wambugu apples. It was intentional. It wasn't me not knowing. And worst case scenario, like for this Wambugu apple, I was expecting a similar thing to that. They're naturally branching out, but it tried branching out. I was expecting it to continue, but it stopped here. I'm hoping that now that I've tipped the top, it will focus more energy on growing the side branches and eventually get something like this. So nothing much, just some new growth at the top. Worst case scenario, if these ones don't develop, I'll just use a scalpel. I learned a new trick. You just remove the leaves and remove just a part of the bark, and the branches will come out from there. So that's worst case scenario. That's Wambugu, let me call it Wambugu 1. This Wambugu 2. This one took off from the bottom with 2 branches. This was the main branch that came with the Wambugu apple. This was the new branch that formed. I taped both of them. You'll see that on my previous video. As you can see, we have some new growth. Also some new growth here on this other branch. This is the tree that I was telling you about. The one that I like. Its anatomy. So beautiful. And it looks strong. And this is what I wanted to achieve. Here we have the other 3. They've grown quite a bit, maybe 3 feet tall. If you can remember, these ones were so slow to start growing, and I tipped them while small. I think I tipped them here at this point, and it forced the apple tree to start growing. It's still small because these are about 3 feet. Those ones are about 5 feet. But they look healthy to me. As for these ones, I tipped them at the same time I tipped these ones, but now these ones I tipped them while small. So over the next few months we'll see how the two compare. You know, this is quite longer than this one. This is about 4 feet or 3.5 feet. Doing quite well. I also tipped this one when small. I also tipped it the other day. It's starting to develop new branches and I'm excited. I also applied some cow manure, as you can see, a bucket on each hole. I first planted these Wambugu apples in December last year. So I mixed the soil and manure while planting. I also added manure after 3 months. That was around maybe late March. and it's been 3 months ever since. So we're in June. I've added manure. So the goal is to always add manure, because manure is food for the plant after every 3 months. So the next time I'll add manure on this Wambugu apple trees is in maybe September, early September, late September. And that's around the time where I'm expecting these Wambugu apples to be producing flowers, because essentially, ideally, it should be producing flowers at month 9. That should be in August. Hopefully in August, September, we'll be seeing some flowers on these trees. And hopefully in December, we'll have some apples to crunch. So that's my Wambugu apples at 7 months. I also added some rosemary around the garden. I had too many of them, and I thought, why not create a hedge around it? So that's my garden. If you like this kind of content, make sure to follow me if you're on TikTok, subscribe if you're on YouTube, and make sure you plant your own, because the goal of this channel is not for me to just show you my Wambugu apples, but to inspire you to grow your own apple tree. You know, it doesn't make sense for us to keep eating apples that are imported when we can grow ours. You know, let's support our Wambugu Apples team. This apple tree is just 1,000 bob. I've planted 6 of them. This is just a small patch. You can plant this around your garden, and let's eat organically. Let's be health. Let's be conscious of our health, and let's build Kenya. So until next time, bye bye. My Wambugu apples just turned 8 today, 8 months. I did prune them about 3 weeks ago. Lots of new leaves. If you can remember from this this single tree, I didn't prune them like the other ones. The other ones I did like a half cut. They're about 4 feet. No, they're about 5 feet tall. I pruned them back to around 3 feet. But for this one, I did love its anatomy, so I just tipped off the tip of the branches, and the reason was I wanted these branches to be stronger. Like I said, if you've seen Wambugu apple trees, they tend to lean once they start bearing fruit because of the heaviness of the fruit. So I can see they're fattening up. I don't know any better word to use, but they feel stronger. They've also there's also some new growth on each branch, but I don't think they will grow to be, you know, so big. But anyway, at least 3 branches on each, 3 branches on each branch. I don't know whether that makes sense, but each branch is producing about 3, and oh, I'm impressed. So this is tree number 1. As for tree number 2, lots of new growth. About 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 new branches, and this one has about 3 branches. I decided to to leave this plant to have 2 branches from the bottom. I wanted to remove one, but I told myself, why not? That one over there had 2 branches like this one, but I removed one, so I left this one so that I can compare how it becomes. And this is the 3rd one. If you can remember, I know they look different right now because I pruned them. I removed almost 2 feet of growth, and I'm actually liking what I'm seeing, because this was just a single tall plant, but as you can see now, I have about 1, 2, 3, 4 branches from that single stem, and I'm actually impressed by what I'm seeing. This is the 4th one. Not many growth. I have 1, 2, about 3 branches forming. It's way better than the single branches that were initially there. They're still small, but I'm sure by next month they'll have fully opened up. The reason why they look bare is because once this new growth formed, I removed the old leaves, as they had this brownish touch on them. They're these old leaves, so I just removed them, and so far so good. There's also some presence of I can see some aphids. When you look at the bottom part of the leaves, you can see, I don't think you can see very well on that one, but on this one, yes, you can see some aphids. They really love devouring my freshly grown leaves, but I'll deal with them shortly. I use a product called Pyagro, produced by Pyrethrum. It's the only organic pesticide I know of, so I'll deal with them shortly. But the reason they look naked is because I've removed the let me call them the diseased leaves, so that new ones can form. This is the 5th one. I pruned this one. This wasn't as tall as the other ones. If you've been watching my video, you'd know. So I just tipped, because this is the height. This is about 3 feet tall. At this height is where I want my my plant to start branching off. I see some people tipping their plants at this height. Maybe that's their preference, but for me, I love this allowance from the ground level, and I love when my apple trees branch from this point, as you can see with that apple tree over there. So this one has about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 branches. Wow, it's way better than the single branch that it initially had. So I'm excited. This is month 8. Hopefully from next month, because ideally they should branch out from month 9. No, they should start flowering from month 9. So I'm excited to see what will happen. Fingers crossed. This one, I didn't really... Did I tip this one? Yes, I did. This one and this one, they are the ones that were initially stagnant, so they weren't growing as fast as the other ones. So as for this ones, I just removed the tip, and this one currently has 2 branches, which is way better than the single branch it initially had. And as you can see, this is the point where I tipped it. This is all new growth. This is all new growth. I'd rather have two than one. So this is what I've been removing. This leaves that seem diseased. And that's my Wambugu apples update at 8 months. Today they have turned 8. Hopefully at the beginning of next month I should start seeing some flowers, fingers crossed. So this is all new growth, lots of aphids as you can see, but I'm not worried. Using Pyagro, they die immediately, and they only attack these new leaves. Maybe it's because they're sweeter, but you can see just how many there are. I'm not sure it's visible on the camera, but yeah, I'll deal with them right after I'm done with these videos. So these are the leaves I've been removing. So that's it from me. My Wambugu apples at 8. Thank you for following, and I'll keep you guys updated. And finally, I'm doing this to inspire you. You know, I'm not doing this commercially. All I'm doing is all I aim to do is to inspire you to grow your own apples, because if there's a variety of apples that can grow anywhere in Kenya, I don't see why you should keep buying imported apples. So I'm hoping that my channel and my videos will keep you inspired to also plant your own. So that's it from me and my Wambugus. Cheers. See you next time. It's early morning here at the homestead. Welcome to my channel. My name is Willis and I am the founder of Thrift Gardening. My apple trees just turned 9 months, and here we have open. apple trees. So all in all, I decided to just do it myself. I'm a lover of trying things myself, and I was very hopeful because there's no way this project can be approved by the government if it's not real. And here are the results. If you've seen my videos, and these ones have started flowering about 2 weeks ago. Take a trees, but they're not like organic apples. Just recently I went looking for an avocado, and I couldn't find one. Just got me thinking how we take for granted the amazing food that we eat, especially back at home in Africa or in Kenya in general. Let's do this thing. I cannot solve this problem alone. Plant Wambugu apples, plant avocados for your family. Feed. Let's be self-sustaining. And thank you for being part of this journey. Of course, this is just flowering, and it's just year one. This plant is supposed to live for about 80 years. So we're just beginning the journey. Please subscribe. Most of you, 95% of you guys who are watching my video aren't subscribed. My goal is to reach 1,000 subscribers. So let's help each other. The journey is good. The journey is just getting started. And thank you for being part of this amazing journey. And see you in my next video.